Hey everybody, it's Benny One and I'm back at you with another movie review, everybody, and I finally watched the remake of Dune, everybody. That's right. The remake of the classic 80s version of Dune that they made. And it's also based off of a novel that has a ton of source material, like a ton of source material. Like it's almost the amount of source material is insane. So the fact that they did one movie, because it's so interesting to me that they did not promote this like this. Like when they were promoting this movie, putting out all the posters, the trailers, and all this stuff, it literally was just Dune. Like it just said Dune. But when the title pops up when you're watching the movie, it says Dune Part 1. So I'm wondering why they did not promote it that way. Because if I feel like if they would have promoted it that way, because the movie does basically leave you hanging. And the horrible part is the part 2 is not confirmed. They have not been told that they are greenlit or anything to make the second part of this movie. Like, and if they don't, oh my God, like if they do not make part 2 of this, that is gonna suck, like hard, like suck really, really bad, because this movie was fantastic. Like it was really good. Everything I heard about it, it lived up to it. Like seriously, it lived up to it. So this movie was directed by Denis Villeneuve, I think is how you pronounce his last name. I probably murdered that. So, and this has a freaking star-studded cast also, which we will get to. But this director, this guy, he did Blade Runner 2049. I know he's done quite a few other movies that are very, very popular, but I know recently Blade Runner 2049 and that visual style that he used in that and his other movies, he most definitely brought to this movie, because this dude does such a great job getting these epic shots, beautiful shots in real locations and using CGI effects. And that's another thing, the CGI effects in this movie are top freaking notch. Everything looks real. Like the CGI was done so well in this movie, like so well. And a lot of it was during the day, because a lot of this takes place on a desert planet. Because the thing that really drives this story is spice that's on this desert planet, and House Atreides is basically told that they are left in charge of basically the number one resource in the galaxy, in the universe, which is spice, which is on this desert planet. Basically, to sum up, because I could sit here for probably 10 minutes telling you the lore and the backstory and what this movie's all about, which I do think the movie does a good job in a 2.5-hour runtime, actually giving us the important details of this story and the lore, and you understand why all these houses are against each other, basically, because you have like these 4 houses that are basically fighting each other. Some are fighting on like a diplomatic front, some are actually fighting. And so yeah, you have these houses, and you understand where their alliances are, and who they're loyal with, who they're not loyal with. Like by the time the movie's over, they did a good job explaining all that. And it's a lot. Like it's really a lot. So I think the movie did a good job with that, especially because I know the book of this is huge. It's a big book, a lot of lore, a lot of content. So I think they did a great job setting it up and everything. But yeah, the director, the scope, like the way that he shoots scenes, like there's a scene with one of the big sand worms that's on this planet, and they're massive. And the way he shows the 2 characters standing on the ship, they're jumping into the back of the ship to escape. And it's like this little freaking like insect looking ship that has wings that flap and everything. It's kind of crazy, but he has a back shot from their perspective, almost looking down into this giant ass sandworm, so you get the scope. Like anytime anything's like that, like a spaceship, he uses something to make the audience understand the scope and the scale of what is going on and what is on screen. Fantastic. Dude is great. Like, seriously, great. The cast is off the chains in this movie. They all do a great job in the movie. Like, seriously, all do a great job. You have Timothy Clement. He plays Atreides, of course, the main character. Rebecca Ferguson plays his mom. You have Zendaya, which she's barely in the movie, actually, which kind of surprised me a little bit. I was expecting her to be in more of the movie, but hopefully we get part 2, because where this ends, the last like 30 minutes, she actually has a lot to do with what's going on. So I'm hoping we get a part 2. My God. Oscar Isaac plays Atreides' dad. He's great. Jason Momoa was one of the, I would say, standouts, and the heart, and like he brings that humanity and heart to this movie with his character. Like, I was very surprised by his character. Let's see, we have Stellan Skarsgard. Oh my word. He plays the Baron. Oh, for like, he's like the big bad dude in this movie, because you have the Emperor and everything, but like, he's evil as hell. And anytime he's on screen, good Lord, he is menacing, he's evil, and wow, they did a fantastic job with his character. You got Josh Brolin. He's like a general, basically. He does good. You got Javier Bardem in the movie. Awesome. I love that guy in any movie, any role he's in. You got Dave Bautista. Like, and that's just the big main chunk of actors. And there's more. There's even more like well-known actors in this movie. It is crazy. Hans Zimmer does the music. You guys know I love Hans Zimmer. He's literally next to John Williams. He is my next favorite composer. I think, in my opinion, with what he's been doing over the past like 15 years, I would honestly put him almost up with John Williams. Like, he is just amazing at what he does. And he brought his style to this movie, but it was different. It was Hans Zimmer, but it was unique and different at the same time. So, and to sum it up, this movie basically is like Game of Thrones, but like sci-fi and in like space. It's like a sci-fi space futuristic version of Game of Thrones, because you got these houses that are all having these different alliances, and they betray each other and they kill each other, and they're always scheming. And that's what it reminds me of. That's what the story of Dune reminds me of, is basically Game of Thrones in space and shit. Even though a lot of it doesn't take place in space and on the planets, but it's just, that's literally what it is. It's very gritty, dark sci-fi stuff. And the movie is slow. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's not. So if you are a person, I guess, that doesn't enjoy slow movies that are telling a story, that do have action pieces here and there sprinkled out, if you like a good story, I would say give it a try, because it's great. It's a great movie. I think they did a great job with this movie, but it is slow. I will say that. So yeah, if you're not a fan of slow movies, even if the story's great, this movie probably won't be for you. But I say give it a whirl and give it a try, because it's fantastic. It was well directed, well shot. The story was great. The actors all did a fantastic job with their characters. The special effects look freaking great. But it is unfinished. And the movie leaves you feeling that unfinished, because there's a second part that they want to do. And hopefully Warner Brothers will greenlight it and let it happen. I know this movie did not make nearly as much money as it would have if it would have came out in normal times, not the COVID crap that we're dealing with, because it came out on HBO Max and it also came out in the movie theaters. I think last time I looked, it had cracked maybe cracked $300 million from the movie theaters. And then with the HBO Max stuff, who knows? I'm sure the movie wasn't cheap to make, but I really hope. Come on, Warner Brothers. Let these people make a part two so they can finish this story, because man, they leave you hanging. Like and they almost don't even leave you hanging. It just ends almost. Like it just ends because they have a plan to do the second part. So, but a fantastic freaking movie. Beautiful movie. Awesome. So I'm going to give Dune a 9 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie, but it's pretty damn close. So a 9 out of 10 for Dune, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you on the tube laters, because I have spoken.